We found the tree. That's the backpacker thing. Well, here I am on the Inca Trail, the classic trail, up at a high point. We're doing the second day climb, and it's a huge climb. I wisely hired a porter for the second day. I would have hired one for all 3 days, but things got kind of screwed up down in Cusco, and but it's not a big deal because the second day is the big one. We got to climb about 700 meters, but it's not so much the climb. We're going from about 3,600 meters altitude to 4,200 at the top, and then down to about 38, so we'll camp at about 38. So it's really the altitude, and if you've got 14 kilos on your back, that's not fun. Going up, and plus, you know, you want to take pictures and do things like that. Anyway, it's a absolutely fabulous hike, and I'm really enjoying it, and really looking forward to seeing Machu Picchu. Now, when we get to Machu Picchu, that'll be in another day. We've got all day today, which is the big climb, and then tomorrow is a little bit of a climb, and then it's all downhill to Machu Picchu. But we don't get to Machu Picchu. We get to within 6 kilometers tomorrow night, and then we get up really early in the morning on the fourth day, about 4:30 in the morning, and do the 6 clicks down to Machu Picchu, and we get there at the gate for sunrise. That's the whole point. You want to get there early because the train arrives around 9, and that's a nightmare because you get all the tourists coming in. So you get about 3 hours at the site where it's quiet, and you can do photography. And our tour guide, Vladimir, who's a Peruvian with a Russian name, it's a long story there, he's going to give us a tour of it. But so far it's been great. It's been worth every effort it was to get here.
Some people do the Inca Trail in 2 days. For them it's the first time.
Buscando excusas para sacar, porque sabe que eles viram já. Sabes que...
Well, we're about 300 meters from the top, and that's 4,200. So we're probably at 4,000 meters right now. The porters are coming up, so it's been a bit of a hike, but it's not bad.
I was gone. Absolutely gone. Thank God for Coke. But I can also do it from here.
Ja, okay.
How are you?
Good. There you are, over the big mountain.
That one is.
Well, this is day 3. We're just starting up the trail. Finally seeing the snow-capped mountains. It's beautiful. Straight ahead. It rained like crazy last night, and yeah, it was a bit rough. I'm not sleeping that well. I had a bit of problem with the altitude. I noticed I had a little bit of a headache, which was causing me a little bit of problems. So I was listening to podcasts and anything I could. I even have a sleep CD or some stuff I have on my telephone I listen to, but it took me a while to get to sleep, and I didn't sleep all that well. But it doesn't really matter, because I mean, on these sort of things you just keep going. But it's beautiful. This is just one of the great walks of the world. I'm so happy that I made the attempt and got here and did it. We're going right over this pass. There's an Inca storage or a kind of a waypost just up the way here, another couple hundred meters, and then we go right over the top of this pass, and then from there we drop, and then there's another little climb. Then after that it's just downhill all the way to Machu Picchu. But this is a big day today. This is a 16-kilometer day, so it's the most in the way of kilometers in distance, but it's not as tough as yesterday. Again, the porters are taking my bag, but I'm just so happy about that. There was a private porter that took my bag over the pass yesterday, which was great, because I had about 8 or 9 kilos, and I didn't feel like carrying that. So I paid him $20. He took it across. But our porters are basically lighter with their loads, so they can manage my stuff no problem. So I guess they'll expect to be compensated with a bigger tip. But it's not a big deal for them, because they're carrying loads of 25 kilos. So, a 7 or 8 kilo load is like, a little day pack to them. Anyway, so it's on to Machu Picchu tomorrow. We'll get up at 4:30 in the morning. So, all right.
They built from here to here a road, a main trail running just by the coast, more than 5,000 k's. From here to here, and as well there is another main one running through the mountains, as well, more than 5,000 k's. Of course, they built another trails, narrow ones, going to the different regions and sites and towns, to everywhere, to communicate and integrate all this territory. What was the only way to do? Trails. Of course, they built these trails like we see now. Stony path in these mountains, but they use different another materials in another places where they didn't get stones or another materials. They built as well retaining walls. They built tambos, resting places. Every 20 k's we have a tambo or resting place. That means there were a lot of numbers of tambos. Okay, they built tunnels. We will see later 2 tunnels. That means they caved the natural stone to get tunnels, and to pass through those tunnels the path. They built as well draining channels, irrigation channels. That means around the trails was not just the trails, but many things around the trails.
Nothing, just I'm here.
Sí, parece al pool.
Coca plant is because the original level of the coca is not here. It's at 1,000 meters above sea level. We are at 2,600.
Keep it 20 souls.
That means you have tomorrow another busy day, rafting.
Yeah.
2 nights, 2 days. And then jungle, then
Home.
Lima, home.
Lima.
There it is. I'm at Machu Picchu. Can you see Machu Picchu? Down there? Right down there.
You're on.
Great. Here I am at Machu Picchu. Been wanting to get here since I was 6 years old, and I finally made it. Isn't that nice?
With this rock, because I think this rock was a very, very important plant in Inca time, and even now, today, for us, is another important plant. Yeah. Yes. They're cool. And this one, where the dead people live, or the mummified bodies live, it was the main deity, the main god here.
Ya, listo papi, gracias. Chao papi.
Vamos, movimiento.